This brings us to our first exercise, where we ask to write a definition that computes the lift force. And the lift force on an airfoil can be defined by a simple formula that involves the air density, the velocity, the surface area, and the coefficient of lift. Now let's do the skeleton of what this object will look like, just to get you started. Now you'll have computed slots. And I don't know right now exactly what the formula is for lift force. That's something that you should look up. But let's be really simplistic and incorrect, and just assume that the formula is multiply all these things together. So to do that, it would simply be multiply the rho by the A by the C of L. I'm sorry, I forgot the V. Now you will have to substitute, instead of the straight multiplication of these values, you will have to come up with an expression which is correct. But if we just want to play with this one, I'm going to Control C, Control K, compile and load. Second time I do it, there are no warnings. Slime sometimes gives warnings the very first time when you compile a define object. Compile it again and see that there are no warnings. It's a good idea. So I need to be in package simple GDL user. That's as a keyword symbol. And again, make object lift. There's the lift calculator. Now there's a shorthand called make self in Gendl. You can say make self lift calculator. What that does is automatically does a set queue. It automatically sets a variable called self to the instance. Now, instead of having to say the object or even the object self, because we've named the variable self, that has a special behavior. The words, the symbol self, the variable self at the top level, you can simply say the without self. Simply say the. So now I can ask for the rho, it's 1.22, the A, 25, the C of L, just like we specified. And now we ask for our computed slot, and then we can ask for the lift. And there you have it. It computed a value. Now you notice there's a little bit of floating point round-off artifact, which can happen with floating. That's something that's across the board with floating point numbers in any computer language. You can have these artifacts, very infinitesimal artifacts on the end of floating point numbers. And of course, there are ways of formatting this out for reports and so on, where you have the correct number of decimal places and format it exactly the way you want to see it. So for your exercise, you will do essentially the same thing as what you see in this definition. So you have a define object for lift calculator. It takes these input slots. It has a computed slot named lift, just like here. There's the name lift. And then it has an expression which you will have to create the correct expression. So, and a double semicolon for a comment, by the way, will automatically, when you hit tab, it will automatically indent the comment to the right spot.